Hello once again everyone, Original Blood Ace here with another video. Now this video will be a little on the longer side. I don't think we'll get past the 10-minute mark. I would be quite surprised, but we'll see, who knows. But before I actually get into the subject, I just wanted to do one quick little mention here. My video where I showed off my pre-order for the PS4, that is now false. Because earlier I went to EB Games, canceled my PS4 pre-order, and actually put the $60 towards Watch Dogs for the Wii U. And then I just ended up paying off the last $2 or whatever. So, yep, that's where that money went. And if you're wondering why am I not getting the PS4 anymore, it's simple reason really, because by the time it comes out, two issues. One, I wouldn't have the money for it since I'm gonna be using that money to get a new computer. I guess I could call it a gaming PC. It's going to be good enough where it can run games, even like, the higher end games, but it won't be like $1,000 computer. And then the second reason was, even if I did get a PS4 at launch, I wouldn't get a single goddamn game at it because I just don't care for the launch games of the PS4. I'd only get it for Destiny, which is a multi-plat, which is not coming out until next year. So still plenty of time and hope for it to be coming to Wii U. Or even PC for that matter, and I could get it on the PC. Anyway, the subject of this actual video is, and I actually got this idea, I was watching Shokio on YouTube. Pretty sure a lot of people out there know who he is. And so he did a video about this, so I thought I would do something similar. It's games that I think, in my opinion, that I want sequels for, just in general, except his video is pretty much anything Sony, Nintendo, not really Microsoft, but mine will focus primarily, the games I want are Nintendo games, Nintendo IPs, but there is two technically, I guess, maybe. I think that are on my list. I got a list of 20 games here to go through that I could come up with that aren't Nintendo games. But anyway, let's get into my list here. First up on my list is actually one that's not Nintendo, which is a Halo 3 ODST 2. Now, I know that's a kind of confusing name because it's Halo 3, but ODST 2, so you have a 3 and a 2 in there. So I don't know what they'd call it, just Halo ODST 2 or whatever. But the thing is, I would want this made by Bungie, not 343 Industries. But seeing as Bungie no longer is with Microsoft, they're with Activision, it's not going to happen unless for some reason 343 completely fucks up Microsoft, begs and pleads Bungie to come back and pays them a shit ton of money. I don't think Bungie would do it. Because for me and a lot of my friends, ODST was our favorite Halo game. Me, I don't know why, I loved it so much. The Spartans, not the Spartans, what do you call it? The ODSTs, I like them better than Spartan characters. I just do. And even though I'm a fan of Halo in general, I don't like Master Chief. I hate him. Sorry, it's just how I am. Moving on is Diddy Kong Racing from the N64. I want a Diddy Kong Racing 2. Now, the question is, would I want this on the 3DS or the Wii U? If I had to choose, I don't know. Because the question is, if it was on the 3DS, could it compete sales-wise with Mario Kart 7? But then again, if it's on the Wii U, could it compete with Mario Kart 8? Which is a tough decision. I honestly would take either or. But if I had to pick, probably Wii U, just because the 3DS really doesn't need any more support right now. It's all Wii U, Wii U, Wii U. Next up on the list, number 3 here, Super Mario 64 2, or Super Mario 128. Now, I know I've said before, it might have been in that last video, that while I'm a fan of Mario and everything, I'm kind of sick of it. I want them to take a break from Mario, but an actual true successor to Mario Galaxy 2 would be welcome. 3D Land, or 3D World, is terrible, and I don't want anything to do with it unless it has all of a sudden added online to it. Number 4 on my list, Mario Kart Double Dash 2. Now, basically, I just want them to bring back the features that Double Dash incorporated. two characters at a time racing, so that you could have two different special items. The special items in general, where each character had their own type of special item. Um, the music was really phenomenal in that. I loved the tournament mode where you could actually go through every single race. Like it was like 16 races back to back to back to back to back. That was amazing and just amazing fun. Um, so I would just love them to bring that feature back. Maybe I don't want to have to say Mario Kart 9 now because that's going to be a hell of a long way away. But next up on the list, Red Steel 3. Not a lot of people like Red Steel. It was a Wii launch game, and then Red Steel 2, which a few people out there actually never even knew existed. A lot of people out there don't like the Red Steel games. They just, I forget what it was. People just didn't like the controls or the art style or whatever. But personally, I loved both Red Steel 1 and 2. Red Steel 1 was amazing. I like the gunfighting, like the gun parts, as like I can't even talk. As well as freezing time to do your instant slow motion kills or whatever you call it. But the sword fighting was absolutely atrocious and just terrible. And you were always regretting whenever you had to do it. Whenever you were forced to do a mandatory sword fight. I don't know about everyone else, but for me, I would just swing my arms randomly and hope for the best. But then Red Steel 2 with Wii Motion Plus. That friggin' truck's zooming by in the background there. Sorry if that picked up on the mic. Red Steel 2 came out, and with Wii Motion Plus, it totally fixed the sword fighting, and the sword fighting was so fun. I like the whole samurai thing, and having like sword finishers, gun finishers. It was just a really fun game, and if you are a fan of the motion controls, and if you want a game that actually takes advantage of it like Skyward Sword did, and yes, I was a fan of Skyward Sword, so sue me. I never want to go back to the way that it was before, with having buttons. Now, moving on from that, Tales of Symphonia 3, which, as everyone who watches my videos would know, I am a total fanboy of Tales games. Namco Bandai does amazing games. They're Tales of Abyss, Tales of Symphonia, Tales of Zilla, Tales of Hearts R, whatever. Every Tales game is amazing. Even though, just not only me, but a lot of people consider the original Tales of Symphonia for GameCube, and yes, it was on the PS2, but only in Japan, as the best Tales game. So Tales of Symphonia 3, while number 2 wasn't as good, Tales of Symphonia 3, I want it to happen. Put it on Wii U. Yeah. Oh, I forgot. I should be going through saying what I want all these on. Red Steel 3, quickly, let's put that on the Wii U. Double Dash 2 or whatever. Just incorporate that into, like, I guess, whatever system's after Wii U. Mario 128 or whatever, put that on the Wii U, of course. Diddy Kong Racing, we already did. Halo 3, well, I can't do Halo. So next up on the list, Bomberman Hero 2. Now, some people, you might have to Google this. Bomberman Hero was way back on the Nintendo 64. I would love a Bomberman adventure game again, not just the one that was like on Xbox Arcade or whatever, where it's just a typical 4-player versus, but an actual story mode, adventure mode, Bomberman game. Loved Bomberman Hero. The music was great. Yeah, put that on the Wii U. Hell, I'll take it on the 3DS even. Make it happen. Actually, I just thought of another one that I should have added to my list that I didn't, but let's get into it right before I forget. Mega Man Legends 3. Even though it was made, and it was like 95% done. And it was cancelled. Capcom, bring it back. We all know you still have all the files on it, all the data, all the work, all the coding. I highly doubt you would just go Control-Alt-Delete, poof, and delete it. We all know that you're hesitant about making a Mega Man game because you've only like announced, promised, made like 5 or 6 in a row, and then canceled them. Now, honestly, I think the reason is because they're scared that their only good franchise they have left besides Monster Hunter is that they would fuck it up. I think that's the only reason they're not going to do it, or is that they're canceling these and whatnot. like the one that was supposedly a first-person shooter Mega Man game for the Wii U. That was in the works, and it was actually a screenshot or whatever, I think. And it actually looked pretty cool, unless that was fan-made. But I know the game did exist, but it was cancelled. And it looks like this video will be longer than 10 minutes. Huh. Oh well. Anyway, Mega Man Legends 3, bring that shit back on the 3DS. I still consider that right now it was my most anticipated 3DS game, hands down. I wanted it on the 3DS more than Smash Bros, more than the new Zelda game, more than Mario Party, more than Mario Kart, more than any other game on the 3DS up till this point that has been announced or was out this whole time. I really, really wanted Mega Man Legends 3. Next up on the list. Now this is pretty much the furthest game that goes back in history on my list, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you have never heard of it, but it's called The Twisted Tales of Spike McFang. It was a Super Nintendo game. My absolute favorite Super Nintendo game. I love the music, the humor in it, the fighting system. It was just a very pure, fun game. Nothing, really, what's the word, rage-inducing about it. It was just a really good, all-around fun game. So I want a Twisted Tales of Spike McFang 2 for the 3DS. Make it happen. Next up, Banjo 3. Yes, that's right, 3E. And of course, we all know, not happening. Everyone just wants it. But I guess they could actually put it on the 3DS. Nintendo could make a Banjo 3E for the 3DS because Microsoft's deal is Banjo-Kazooie can only be on a console that is owned by Xbox, a home console, or owned by Microsoft. So there's a loophole there. They could put it on a handheld because the contract doesn't say anything about it. But it won't happen. I don't know why someone just doesn't, like Nintendo doesn't just kind of be a little sneaky there and kind of tweak that formula a bit, make it a game not called Banjo and Kazooie, but pretty much make it identical. Just instead of having a regular bear, you have a polar bear, and then instead of like a red bird in your backpack, you could just have a blue bird. Just flip the colors around, invert the colors, and then just flip their names around. So instead of Banjo and Kazooie, you could have Kanjo and Bazooie. That would just be such a nice little loophole you could do. But next up on my list, this was a GameCube game that I think pretty much every person who played it on the GameCube really enjoyed. Custom Robo. So I want a Custom Robo 2. The story mode was not the best, but it was still pretty good for what it was. It's local multiplayer. I mean, if they made a Custom Robo 2 and had online on it, that would be badass. It's a mech fighting game, absolutely amazing, amazing customization. You could customize, I think it was like I can't even remember now, your guns. I can't remember. Was it your head, your gun, your armor, like your legs, your arms? I can't remember at all. But I remember you could get forbidden parts or banned parts, whatever they were called, and they were always overpowered. But it was such a fun mech game. Custom Robo 2, that's why you're on my list. Next up, I kind of debated this one if I wanted to add it on my list or not, but Vex 2. Now, Vex was a GameCube game. I'm pretty sure it was GameCube exclusive. If it was on PS2 or something, I know it was on Xbox. I'm pretty damn sure of that. But if it was on PS2, then I apologize. Either way, Vex was a very interesting platformer game. You were like a small guy with claws, going around, collecting things, getting to the boss, blah blah blah. Kind of like I don't know if Mario 64 works, but I remember one level was like you were in a ginormous house where everything was like made it look like you were in a giant's house from Jack and the Beanstalk or whatever, where you could bounce on the keyboard or on the piano keys or walk around on the couch, jump on the power button on a remote to turn on this giant TV. It was a really fun game. I actually never 100% beat it. I did beat the story, but I didn't get all the whatever you were supposed to collect. I forget what it was. Next up, though, on the list, Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy 2. Now, this was actually on GameCube and PS2. I actually didn't know it was on the PS2 until like a year ago. But Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy was one of my favorite GameCube games. It was hilarious. The comedy in it was amazing, and the way that comedy was done was introduced in the gameplay, like in the gameplay mechanics. It was done really well, in my opinion. For example, when you played as the mummy, you're invincible, but he can still kind of get hurt. Not actually like in a health way, but he gets hurt as a character. Where, say, you need to light a torch on fire that's not on fire yet, you go find a source of fire, like a fireplace or whatever. You walk in it, you get caught on fire because you're all bandages, and then you have to run to the torch and pass the fire onto it to light it. And then while you're on fire, of course, the mummy's freaking out. He's like, oh, and he's patting himself down, trying to put out the fire on himself, and he's dancing around, freaking out. And it was just really hilarious. So, Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy 2. Actually, we should backtrack just a little bit there. Custom Robo 2, put that on the Wii U with online. Vex 2, 3DS or Wii U, doesn't matter. Sphinx and the Cursed... Actually, put it on the Wii U, because Vex 2 could work with the gamepad really well. They could do some interesting features with that. Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy 2. I would take a 3DS version, but I think Wii U would actually benefit better for it. Especially, again, with the comedy of the mummy and the gamepad, you could introduce some cool things there, maybe like using the stylus to draw on the gamepad and have to wrap up your bandages again, or spin them around to undo the bandages or something, make them twirl around, I don't know. Yeah. Next up on the list is Star Fox. Now, we've already talked about this one, as well as the next one up on my list, F-Zero. Again, I don't want to go into detail about this because I've already done a few videos talking about my thoughts on those. We all want Star Fox, we all want F-Zero. Star Fox needs to come on the Wii U. I'll take a 3DS version, but it needs to come on the Wii U. F-Zero, again, they could even do it when they're doing a Smash Bros. For F-Zero. How there's a Wii U one and a 3DS one. Put online on the Wii U one, actually put on both, but I could see them both selling, because you got the 3D effect of F-Zero where you'd have, the crazy, insane levels, zooming at you in 3D, and cars falling off the level in 3D, and spinning around, smashing into each other, turning upside down and driving in 3D, and it would just be great. Just absolute chaos and fun. This one, Baton Kaitos 2. Another GameCube game, surprise, surprise. I kept trying to remember if this is like my first RPG I played before I really realized, the whole RPG genre. But I can't remember. I don't remember if, I think Tales of Symphonia maybe was. Maybe I played something like in the Super Nintendo days. I can't really remember. But Baton Kaitos, I actually never beat it. I really liked the story. It had a great story, great fighting system, fighting mechanics, whatever you want to call it. And I got near the end of the game. I forget where, but I got to a part where you're fighting like 3 or 4 bosses at once. Like they're 3 or 4 generals or whatever you call them at once. And I don't know, I think I just got stuck to the point where no matter what I did, I couldn't take them all down. I could take out like 2 to 3 of them. If there was 3 of them, I could only take 2 out before the third would kill me. Or if there was 3, I could take out 3, but the last one would always kill me. So, but it was a really fun game, and I would just love a sequel. I know I'm not the only one. Yeah. Next up, Pokemon Snap 2. Simple enough. Put it on the Wii U. Oh yeah, Baton Kaitos. Put it on the Wii U. Pokemon Snap 2 is perfect for the Wii U. Hell, even a remake of Pokemon Snap. Think about it. The gamepad as the camera. You're looking around to take pictures. Common sense, Nintendo. Common fucking sense. Nothing more to add on that. So, next up is Pokemon Stadium 3, or a new Pokemon Coliseum game for the Wii U. This is pretty much guaranteed, though, to be coming at some point as a Pokemon game for the Wii U. Since it was on the N64, it was on the GameCube, and it was even on the Wii. So we all know that's going to come at some point. Next up, Mario Party 10, the Wii U one. Unless that's what they're going to call the 3DS Mario Party. It'll probably just be Mario Party 3DS, like there was Mario Party DS. Since Nintendo seems to be kind of getting lazy with names these days, starting with the Wii U itself, even though I never really had an issue with the name Wii U. And then how Smash Bros. 3DS version, Smash Bros. Wii U version. I mean, how lame is that? But Mario Party 10, the Wii, like whatever Mario Party Wii U is, Um, better have fucking online, but it'll come eventually. We all know a Mario Party Wii U game is going to come. I don't know why they're bothering wasting their time with these random party games for the Wii U where you're playing as like your Mii character on a board. And don't you frickin' put Mii characters in Mario Party 10 or whatever the Wii U one's going to be called. Please. Mii characters are fucking avatars. You don't see Xbox spamming their avatar in every fucking game. It's like, oh, let's play as your avatar character in Halo 4. Blah blah blah. Fuck that. So next up, we're getting near the end of the list here. Only two more games on my list. One is Metroid Prime 4. Made by Retro or someone else. I really don't care. If it's made by Retro, they're going to have to do a damn fucking good job to win me back because I still just don't care about them anymore. I don't really know who else I would like to make it. I should just say Team Ninja just to piss everyone off, since so many people hated Metroid Other M, even though I, like normal, am completely the opposite. I'm getting can't talk. Getting tongue-tied here. But I actually really enjoyed Other M. I'm not going to get into that. That could be a whole nother video. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see. But regardless, Metroid's coming to the Wii U at some point. Whether it's Prime 4 or something new, I don't know. But it's coming. Now we've come to the final game on my list. There's probably more, but I spent like 20 to 30 minutes trying to write this down and think about all the Nintendo mostly games that I could think of. That's why the only ones on here that aren't Nintendo was Halo 3 ODST 2 and this game, which is my final one on the list, which is simply a Yu-Gi-Oh! Game for the Wii U and the 3DS. Think about it. There used to be a Yu-Gi-Oh! Game every single year for the DS. World Championship like 2006, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't know if there was anything after that. Maybe there was an 11, I forget. I don't want it Zexal, because Zexal's shit. Up to 5Ds is fine. From the original, up to 5Ds. None of this numbered monster crap or level star monsters, those fucking bullshit. But think about it this way. The DS had 8 Yu-Gi-Oh! Games? Put one on the 3DS, please and thank you. Of course with online, but then again the DS ones did, so I don't know why the 3DS one wouldn't. And then of course, a Wii U Yu-Gi-Oh! Game. Think of it this way. Imagine with the gamepad, all the cards that would be in your hand are on the gamepad screen. And then the TV screen would be the playing field, of course. So you'd click and, you'd use your finger on the touch screen and slide a card forward, and that would be able to play that card or whatever. You could tap it to, make it flip, so you'd set it instead of playing it face up or whatever. And then, think of it this way. Maybe it would be a game that could use actually 2 gamepads because we know that's the maximum the Wii U can handle. So if you're playing local multiplayer with a friend, you could each have the cards that you're playing, or the cards that are in your hand on your own gamepad, so there's no screen looking to see what cards are in your opponent's hand. You'd only see what moves they do on the TV screen. Think about that. Or hell, if it was 2 gamepads with 2 off-TV gameplay, or 2 off-TV gameplay, then you wouldn't even need the TV at all, and you could just duel each other with 2 gamepads going at it. So I think that would work out really well. Yeah. So that's my, 21 games that I have on my list of games that I would love to see sequels to. I don't know if I'll do a video where I want prequels, because I really don't give a shit that much about games that are prequels. I think Zelda, maybe. I'm not sure if there would be a prequel to Wind Waker would be kind of cool. But I don't know about that. Anyway, I'm getting off topic here. So I guess, as always, this is Original Blood Ace. Stay tuned for more videos coming soon.